All right, now that we got this established, let's go back to frame 1. Let's get the I'm sorry, that's the wrong one. I need the driver. Let's get T4 back to 0. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set a key for the translate Z. And then I'm going to go to the extreme, and I'm going to move this in position. And there's the limit again. And I'm going to set a key there as well. Go to the next keyframe, which is basically holding still. This should be key selected. Translate Y shouldn't be selected at all. I'm not sure why it is. Let's see. Okay. Next. Okay, we're back to 0 again, so then the translate Z should be 0. Now I shouldn't have to say key selected because I've got the auto keyframe turned on down here in the corner. I'm trying to get the light up, but basically this means when it's blue like this means it's selected. So every time I change the value for the translation, it will automatically keyframe. But see, like in this instance, I wanted to go from frame 98 to 110 or 111 without any movement. So since there is no movement, this didn't trigger an auto key, so I had to key it again. Let's go to the next. So all I'm doing is going through the entire keyframes for the rotation and moving, positioning the adjusting the translation Z for the driver. The driven should, although it's very subtle, should follow any change I make. Okay. And again, this is why I asked you, or I suggested that you work with just one just do the rotation first so that you have these really clear major keyframes to use as a guide to help you set the translation or any other values. So again, it's not moving at this point. Now it's got to go back to 0, which will auto key, and back to 0, which will auto key. Now it's going back in a full extension, so it's got to go to point -2. And if you notice real subtly, that driven vertebra T5 did literally just move forward when I went to point 2. So thank God for you guys that I don't have 1,000 keyframes to go through. Okay, so theoretically then, if I've done this correctly, when we play it, the vertebra should move. So notice there's never a gap now. It slides up and moves a little forward like it says in the narration. The gap that we saw originally when only the rotation was in effect is gone. Slides back into the hollow or down into the hollow and slides backwards a little bit, T5, or the driven in this case goes anteriorly a little bit. Okay, so now we've got 2 set-driven keys. One is controlling the translation Z for T4 and T5, and one is controlling the rotation X for T4 and T5. Okay.